So, welcome to this week's Joke Community AMA, shortly to be possibly renamed at the end of this AMA. So, if you hold on to the end, and we'll make sure it's not too long today. I know I'm always. It's probably the only promise I ever ever break is to keep the AMAs short, and then we end up doing an hour. But um, I'll guarantee everybody will be done by the top of the hour for sure today, because there's a lot of things that we're going to repeat today that a lot of people should already know. A couple of new bits of information. One. Well, I'm not allowed to announce the really 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 big bit of news, but we'll hint. We will hint on
Yeah.
that one. So for those of you that are making notes, there will be some very large breadcrumbs dropped today, and you can discuss amongst yourselves. And some of the VIPs will already know what I'm going to talk about today, but we are moving obviously ahead with the relaunch of the token. For those of you that maybe there's people that here that don't know why that is happening, mainly it's happening because venture capital want to come into this project, and we couldn't do that with the previous token. The previous token was launched, well, we've just had our birthday. It was,
We have.
yes, a year and 2 days ago. So the token was a year old. The project was actually about 18 months old at that point. We'd been working on it for, well, it's probably more like 20 months, because we'd been working on it for at least 6 months hard before we got to the point of launching that token. When we did launch it, we didn't have anywhere near the opportunity that we have now. We didn't have the metaverse in our sites. We had YouTube in our sites and an opportunity to try and create a massive YouTube channel. And as a lot of you will know, Andy and I run S Media in the UK, which is the UK's biggest YouTube ads and influencer agency. And we set out with an ambition to create a massive YouTube channel. It's moved and changed, and the project has reshaped, and now we are the leading comedy project in the metaverse and across multiple metaverses, and we have metaverses coming to us asking us to be in them now. And we've moved from a place where we had to ask people and buy land, and almost beg to get into metaverses, to a point where we are now being asked, and we will be paid to come into metaverses because we have the content. And the content in the metaverse is going to be the most valuable commodity for anybody going forward. So we look at YouTube and we see some of our clients making hundreds of thousands of dollars or pounds a month, and we see an opportunity within the metaverse for this project to make millions and millions and be the leading light in comedy and the biggest brand in comedy in the metaverse, right? And that's not now. If we'd said that a year ago, people would have called us a joke. And we've come to the point where we really do have the opportunity to cement a footprint across all the big metaverses, because we're the people with the content, we're the ones with the connections with all the comedy clubs, the comedians, the management groups, and also, well, the people we got introduced to a couple of weeks ago, Brian, who's building the app, who builds apps for people like Paramount, Warner Brothers. He's done work with Disney, Gillette, lots of other projects. He's building a new Web3 wallet that integrates with the metaverse and across all of DeFi. And when we show you that project, and the people that are in our VIP will get to see that before anyone, and like the token that launches off the back of that will definitely be one of the biggest, one of the ones that does the best in the bull run next year. So that will be a collaboration that we've already cemented. Brian's love of comedy, since he was filming videos with the Spice Girls and working with Warner Brothers and Paramount and people like that, he's always wanted to run a comedy project. And once we got introduced to him through one of our founders, Alex Stern, Alec kindly introduced us, and that relationship has gone from strength to strength, to the point at which he wants to help us build out for free what could be one of the world's biggest apps, right? Obviously, he'll get a revenue share out of the back of that because he's not doing it completely for free. But it's not costing us as a project up front. And we've just got to bring the comedians, and he'll bring the audience, and he'll, more importantly, bring the big sponsorship partners. So one of the apps that he built recently had 42 million users for Gillette. And if you can imagine what a business like someone like Gillette would pay to have an app with that number of people on it, you can start imagining where the revenue streams for this project come from. Now, when we built the token originally, it didn't have really very much utility. And when we started having people asking us about the utility for the token, the original thought that it was going to be people were going to pay to get into comedy events with token, people were going to tip comedians with token. All that leads to is token getting sold and the token not growing in value. So we needed to build in, and we've known for a long time we needed to build in utility into the token, and the token needs to tie to the NFT collection. And those people that bought Joking Jungle Cats, we promised them lifetime access to comedy. Now, lifetime access to comedy in all of our metaverses for those people will be free. And if you're sat here with a jungle cat as your avatar, or you're one of the people lucky enough to have recently swept up a jungle cat, because the floor has gone up massively this week. I think we're up to about 0.15 ETH down from about 0.05 where it was. I'm glad to see people are starting to listen, because the utility between the token and the NFT collection is crucial as we go forward. So there's a lot of projects that are a token. There's a lot of projects that are an NFT collection or a PFP collection. We're not one of those. So we want to add value to both sides, and we need to make sure that the two things work for each other. And that's all getting built into the new tokenomics. The new tokenomics are not finalized yet. It is envisaged, and when I say this, I mean this is a work in progress, so it's not set in stone that part of the tax from the token will go back to buying back and burning token, and part of it will go back to the jungle cat holders, along with the revenue from a percentage of the revenue from the sponsorship and advertisers that come in. So if you hold the token and the jungle cat, you therefore get a bigger slice of the pie. We will continue to buy up jungle cats from the floor should any ever fall down, because we can see that when this project is bringing in millions in revenue, and that's not in the too distant future, because we've already got comedy shows that are having 15 to 20,000 people in them, and that is just in the Infiniverse. When we're now getting conversations with the bigger metaverses like Sandbox, etc., it's not hard to see that sponsors will want to come in and talk to us about product placement and advertising within the shows. That doesn't mean that we then get to ticket the shows, because if for example, in the Infiniverse, and there's been some massive developments there over the last week, and we can have a quick chat on that because people need an update. If we start charging, for example, in the Infiniverse, one, we put a barrier in the way to people actually entering the show, which is against the principles of getting comedy out to as many people as possible. But it also means that if, for example, we're getting 20,000 people into a show for free, if we start charging for it, we'll probably get less than 200 people, and that is ambitious. You probably get 20 people. Now, we don't want to move to a model where we're having to charge for 20 people to go into a show. What we'd rather do is move to a model where we get hundreds of thousands of people watching, and the sponsors pay us more than we would have got in ticket money, if you see. Now, that's why in the new version of the utility for the token, we're going to add in the utility for the jungle cat holders to receive a percentage of that revenue as well. So not only will the tokens get bought back and burned, but also the jungle cat holders will receive a percentage of that revenue that comes infinitum forever So if you hand out your jungle cat in your will, hopefully to somebody well, hopefully we're all alive for as long as we can think of. But if I hold a jungle cat and I give it to my kids, there's an income there for them in the future, and hopefully that is a significant income, right? This is what we're building, and we've only got 1,750 of those jungle cats out there. So if you start thinking about millions of dollars of revenue potentially on a monthly basis in the future, and albeit in 2 or 3 years' time, hopefully, not in tens of years, in 2 or 3 years' time, that's a lot of money getting shared out, and that's actually takes us beyond pretty much any NFT collection out there. But also the guys that own the token as well will receive a percentage of that revenue by us buying back from a community wallet from the tax on the buys and sells, but also from the revenue that's coming from sponsorship and advertising. So that continually feeds the token, feeds the ecosystem, feeds the NFT holders, and means that everybody gets a fair split of what comes out the back end of the token from those advertisers and sponsors. But that is the major reason for relaunching this token. I know some people have said, well, the token had errors in it, the contract had errors in it. Yeah, one of those errors we found that we didn't even know existed, and only happened because there was an arbitrage on the token. All it did was fast forward the process and got us to a place which is better for all of us going forward. Just to reiterate, everybody who held tokens at the point of the snapshot, you will be getting the same value as at the point of that snapshot. So when the token relaunches, you will be airdropped to the wallet that those tokens were in at the point at which that snapshot was taken. There are a couple of exceptions to that. I'm not going to go into them here, and I don't going to complicate things, and people probably won't understand a couple of the things, but there is nobody's losing any value. That's the important thing that people need to know. So then when we relaunch, we will have the launch on P2B. So P2B, B2B have relaunched as P2B. They are one of the major exchanges as a centralized exchange. We will be listing on multiple exchanges and dexes. We will have an incubator. We're in conversation with an incubator at the moment. Those guys that we're talking to require Andy, myself, and the other founders to be fully doxed, KYC'd, audited, everything, because only the legitimate projects that are out there are really prepared to do that. And people who are looking to invest into different tokens and NFT collections should really be taking a look at who runs it, and making sure that the people that are behind it actually know how to run a business, and not just put an NFT collection up and hope for the best, and try to promise some sort of utility in the future. So hopefully you guys can see that we've got a decent business case. You can see who we are, what we do. Yes, we are two old gits from the UK who've run businesses and have a bit of experience on YouTube, more than a bit. And hopefully there's some people in the audience that have read Andy and I's book. And if nobody's read our book, we will share the link if you wish to. If you want to get to know us better, let's put it that way. Andy, do you want to just go through the next little bit? Because we're up to the end of tokenomics. We need to give an update on who we've been talking to, because you'll probably, without me letting the cat out of the bag, you'll do a better job.
So during our meeting with Sizzle, I can't remember when it was, with Brian and Alec, we were introduced to one of their other partner projects. Simon's already touched upon this. I'm not going to give any names out, but these guys, they've taken some of the best devs from Meta, as in Facebook, into their project, and they were building out Meta's own kind of token system, crypto system. Problem with that is it would be enclosed, it wouldn't be truly DeFi. These people have moved to this new project. We met the guy, we had an amazing conversation, and we were talking about relaunching the project. We'd already been looking at what that would be on. Would it be Ethereum? Would it be Polygon? Would it be BSC? Well, we wouldn't stay on BSC necessarily, but it was still in the mix. And we had a conversation with this guy, and he says, "Well, look, I know some really senior people at Polygon." And he was talking about them as a project, and the benefits they're particularly good with gaming and entertainment, and some of the deals that are not yet public that Polygon are doing with some of the world's biggest brands, and some of them entertainment based. And he was telling us a little bit about what was going on, and we said that'd be really interesting for us to talk to Polygon about that. Now, we have been talking to our devs, the other founders, some other people in the community, some of the mods and admins. We've had a lot of conversations, and nothing was ever decided, and it's still not 100%. But we did have a meeting with somebody from Polygon last week, and over the course of the end of last week and the weekend and today, there has been more meetings, and they would be delighted to take the Joke project into their mix for us to be on Polygon, which I think would be exceptional for us as a project, because it is more grown up. There's more security around it. They've got some new parts in their project that we're still talking to them about. There has been paperwork signed. It's not 100%, and we do have to wait on a couple of more meetings. Our contact is away at an event in South America, so it's looking likely that we will go into Polygon, which I think is great news. I think it really helps the project go forward. I think it ticks off some of the boxes in terms of the VCs. I think it ticks off a lot of the boxes in terms of security. It's massive because we know some of the brands that they're working with or are about to work with. And for us to be able to get announced, if we go on Polygon, announced alongside those other global brands, really does elevate the Joke project up there, and will be seen by a whole load more people in a whole different way. So our view is so far.
Let me just add to that, Andy, because it's not as simple as just, if we were going to go on Ethereum, it's not as if you can phone somebody up at Ethereum and get any help, right? What you can get, if you deal with, let me just close my door because my kids are going to come in. Right. What you can get is actual support direct from the team, like their devs, their marketing, introductions to other projects in their ecosystem in a true web collaborative environment. So, they've just announced they've signed, for example, Starbucks. There's many other global brands that are working with them. And if we get positioned alongside and introduced to that level of brand, why would we not take that? That's, the thought at the moment. That's what, it's all on the table. It's being negotiated. It's not going to cost us anything because they love the project, right? It's about us negotiating the best deal in terms of marketing support, future help, assigning us a team that would work with us from, you just don't get to deal with a layer two and talk. Well, we do now. So I don't see why we wouldn't progress, but we have to wait until we've signed everything before we can make an official announcement. So,
and I think it's fair to say, Simon, I think what probably people need to understand here, this last few weeks we're talking to devs at our end, our own mods and admins, our own founders. We're talking to people who are building apps. We're talking to comedy clubs. We're talking to Comedians Direct. We're talking to people like Polygon. We're talking to people who are building other things that will be a bridge in DeFi to the real world. There's a lot going on at the minute, and we cannot rush making some of these decisions. And we do live in a world and a space where everybody wants quick things, but we will not rush these decisions. We will not rush making sure this is right, because when we get this right, it will, we're going into our second year with huge potential. And there's other things that will fill you in as we go through. So we cannot rush it. We have to make sure everything is right. everything tees up at the same time. There's an awful lot of work to do behind the scenes. I mean, huge amounts of work. Not only have we got to get the tokenomics right, the devs have got to work on that, talk to Polygon. We've got to talk to the marketing people at Polygon. We've got to do our own marketing around our own tokenomics and all kinds of stuff going on with the joke community. I've got to start sorting out banner boards for all the different comedy shows coming in so we can update everybody on a regular basis. There is a lot going on for what we essentially are still quite a small project. So we will require patience from the community. Not everything is going to happen overnight, although, things still do move pretty quick in our world. From meeting somebody to getting agreements in place is happening quite quick at the moment. So it is all really good. But we'll move on from that. And as and when we know the decision, the final decision, as and when we know the timescales and other news, we will, of course, update everybody within the community so everybody's aware of what's happening. Simon, are we to quick update on leaderboard and a couple of the other bits, and then I'll do the comedy shows?
Yeah, we upgraded the top 20 from the leaderboard today to VIP. I know there was a query as to fairness. I'll be honest, I upgraded the top 20. I didn't dive into every single person in that list, but there is going to be a steward's inquiry on a couple of the people that are in there, because I just need to check whether they've been making as many posts as the leaderboard says they have. But those of you that, most of the names that I just clicked on and added to the VIP club, I've seen them posting, right? There was a couple that I hadn't, but it's not to say that they're not posting at times while I'm asleep, etc. But rest assured, we will make sure that the list is correct. We are looking for 50 VIPs by the point at which we launch. I'm not going to limit it at 50. If there's a lot more people getting involved and the community is absolutely buzzing, we'll have a lot more than 50. As it stands, we want 50. We've done 10 last week, 10 this week. That's based on a timeline of trying to get to, 5 or 6 weeks' time. If people, and I'll make this very clear because someone did ask me to make it very clear, if you get into VIP in the first week or the first couple of weeks and then you sit on your laurels and you do nothing, you may well find yourself dropped out of VIP, because albeit that it's not a competition, we are a community and we need to work for each other and help each other. And the one thing that will make this project win over others is the community, right? And we'll come to talking about that at the very end of this AMA, because there's one thing that we're, as a community, going to decide on. We will be putting a poll up towards the end of this AMA. I think Jane's got it ready, but we'll talk about it in a minute, not just yet. But the community, all of these big NFT projects, right, all of them, bar none, have massively active communities that help each other, and it becomes a community, right? That's what we need to achieve, and that's the value. That is what all of you guys will add to it by being here in the VIP group, right? And those people are going to get all of the exclusive access that we've promised, right? Like some of the VIPs, they heard about the Polygon announcement. Not that it's made yet, but that information was shared earlier today to them. We only really got confirmation over the weekend. We would have liked to have given those people 48 hours notice, but we thought it'd probably be unfair to let you guys have to wait another week when there's such a massive piece of news that's potentially going to drop over the next couple of days. So as soon as we know, we'll let you know on that. Update on P2B. We are obviously talking to them about the roadmap for the launch. That activity doesn't start for about another 10 or 12 days. So while we're planning that all out, we'll show you guys what we're planning. We'll show you all the materials that are going to go out. And one of the things that has been said that is crucial, we have to make it very clear to everybody what the utility is. So when you're talking to people, if you are talking to people in the forums or on Discord or on you're talking to people, even in real life, right? Maybe some of us actually do that still. But if you're talking to people in the metaverse or on Twitter or in Discord, please tell them the next iteration of the token, the utility is that you will be sharing in the revenue that comes from the sponsorship and product placement in all of our shows across every single metaverse. So where the project takes money, you will win, because we will be buying back tokens, okay, and burning them. Not all of them, so we will be keeping a community wallet. Some of that will get distributed to NFT holders, etc., etc. Like I said earlier, the full tokenomics is not 100% nailed on yet, because it depends on how the contract tests and everything. There's like loads of complication that has to go in the back end of that. Once we know exactly what the taxes are, how that profit is distributed, it will all be very clear in bite-sized chunks, and it will be built into marketing decks and roadmaps. And that's what we're selling as a community, right? That is what all of you guys help us sell. So when people come in and want to understand what this project does and how they make money from it, yes, they can make money just by holding the token long term, just by holding an NFT long term. But in reality, we want people talking about the project and bringing more people into it. The part of the utility that we haven't even talked to you guys about yet, which I will talk about now, is pay to view, right? Not pay to view, paid to view. So in the future, in the metaverse, we all at the moment, if you go and watch a YouTube video, you are the audience, right? You are having adverts foisted upon you that you don't want. Your data is being harvested by Google and YouTube and Facebook and Amazon and all of these people so that they can sell to you and put products in front of you. We fundamentally think that you should be paid for that, and the people that watch the comedy in the future should be paid to consume the comedy if we are driving revenue from it. So our token holders receive revenue, our NFT holders receive revenue, and the people who are watching receive revenue. Now, how powerful do you think that ends up when people understand they can get paid to watch, right? They will get ads placed upon them, and our advertisers and partners and sponsors will be paying to do that. But a percentage of that revenue will go to pay the people who are watching the content, because they are the people who are going to spread the word and bring more people in and up the view numbers and watch for longer, and the advertisers will love that, right? And nobody has really done that at all yet, and that is the future of advertising. So that's not this year, let's be clear, right? That is in a year or two's time. But mark this moment, right, and this AMA, and hopefully somebody looks back and says, that were genius, right? That is the future. And it is, if you're going to give up your data and you're going to tell people that, like I used an example the other day that I like to play a bit of golf, but I haven't played golf for 9 months. So I'm not strictly at the moment a golfer. But if somebody said they want to give me golfing adverts, I'd probably say yeah, because I enjoy looking at new equipment and golf stuff and everything, right? But if somebody wants to advertise dog food to me and I don't own a dog, then I'm not interested. But if they should be paying to advertise to you, and that is the future, and that's how it's going to be, and that is the whole of the metaverse, and we can take that as a model that nobody else will be doing. Okay. What do we want to talk about next, Andy? Is it the Steezy offer quickly?
Yeah, what I was going to say about the Steezy, just give a very quick overview, Simon, then we'll post something in announcements.
Yeah, as without taking up too much of the AMA, Steezy is a partner project that some friends run. They are offering discount on their NFTs for anyone who has the old joke token. So the partnership offer with them is if you've got some old joke token that is now worthless, don't worry, you've had your snapshot taken at the end of that previous token. And just so that those of you that, if there's anybody worried that they're not getting their full value, if you had the tokens in your wallet, you will get the value at the snapshot. If you were in the farm and you had LP and you didn't remove it, I hopefully already have your wallet details and your LP amount, and you will get retrofitted, I want to say, or it will go back to that point in time, right? So nobody will lose out. It'll all be transparent. We will show everyone what's gone on and who had what and everything, right? But Steezy have said that if anybody's got any old joke token in their wallet, they'll give you a discount on a significant discount on their NFTs. They've reserved 500 of their NFTs for us. So if anybody wants to get involved, you're getting at least 2 for 1, I think. And their NFTs are about $25, so could be worth just picking one of those up. And they may be able to interact with us and our community in the future. So hopefully you can go and support them. We'll post an announcement about that and how you can get involved and join their Discord and learn a little bit about that community. I'm not expecting anyone to, but if you feel like helping them and you want to find out, obviously do your research and learn about what they do. So Andy, do you want to give the update on the clubs and the comedians?
Yeah, it's an ever-moving feast. Gotham, we're awaiting another meeting with those. The guy had been ill. It's just with their legal team. Alec, one of our founders, is chasing up on that meeting. Hopefully that will happen shortly. We've got 2 nifty shows booked in. I do apologise, I'm in a different room. I think it's the Wednesday and Thursday of next week. Yes, it is. They've been booked in Oculus. We can do that on the back end now. So there's two nifty shows there. So please do go and have a look at those. With that, will get posted in the community in the next 24, 48 hours. So go and have a look at those. DC, who helps run some of the nifty shows, also has his own business. I had a really good meeting with him yesterday. He helps us book the nifty comedians and he brings them involved. And he's been really good. Now, he's been working on 3 projects over the last 3 years, actually, and he's got some really interesting stuff going on. So he's sent me loads of links, loads of information about more shows that he wants to put into all our clubs. We've got a good relationship with him. Some of them are really, really interesting. And, it's likely that probably within 4 weeks he'll be running things into the clubs as well. Frog and Bucket Manchester, we're just trying to get organising them filming things so we can book literally 25 comedians a week into the clubs. And PBJ, we're still chasing up with those. They contacted us last week. But yeah, there's loads of really good stuff going on with the comedians. I think what's interesting, the guy who gave us the link at Polygon also is linked with other comedians and metaverses. And I think the noise around the project and people wanting to be part of it now is growing exponentially, where we're constantly getting people saying, can we do stuff? Can we do stuff? We're just having to manage that very carefully because we are about to go into a few more metaverses. We are going to be putting a lot more shows into the Infiniverse. So there's going to be a lot for us to deal with. So we're just managing the interest at the moment, but there's going to be a lot more stuff going on soon. And I, for one, I'm really pleased about that because I want to get back in watching the shows myself. So we will update the community with the shows that have been booked in. So keep an eye out on announcements and in general chat. And like I said, we'll update on the nifty ones in the next 24 hours, those 2 shows. But yeah, all good stuff going on there.
Okay. So yeah, last off, we can put that. I think we can put the poll up when we get.
Yeah.
So anyway, if anyone's got any questions, please do ask them because this is your forum. And if you have got a question, put your hand up and we'll come to you. I'm not going to jump on you straight away. We've got things to say first, but if you do have a question that you'd like to ask, either type it in the AMA chat or put your hand up and we'll get you up on stage. I can see a few people that I haven't spoken to for a while, particularly Mick Foreman. It'd be nice to get you on stage, Mick, and see how you're going. but we are moving forward with the question, right? This is a question to you, the community. Um, we so our token, our brand, will remain as Joke. It is going to remain as Joke, and we're going to build the brand around that. But the NFT collection we're not changing the name of the NFT collection. It is the Joking Jungle Cats, and will be forever, and is on Ethereum and is on OpenSea and all of the main exchange sites. Now, the question is, do we start referring to ourselves as the JJCC, which is the Joking Jungle Cat Club? Now, my thoughts behind that were, is there any downside? And it's something to bring the community together. It was mentioned in the mods meeting, and I think Mark said it makes it feel more of a club. And there is the obvious connotation that Bored Ape Yacht Club is a 4-letter acronym, and they refer to themselves as BAYC. I would maybe like us to be referred to as JJCC. It's open for debate. So if we do that, I think it makes the club, it makes us feel more like a community. I don't want to be the one that says this is just what we're doing. So we are open to any other suggestions. Because at the moment we've got the Jungle Cats, we've got the token as Joke. I think we just need to feel a bit more like a community. So we're going to put a poll up. And in that, we'll have to have any other options. Will we? Jane, how are you going to word that? I don't know if she's.
I'm just going to do. You're going to ask if everybody agrees with the new name, right? So it'll be a yes or no answer. Thumbs up or thumbs down on the new name.
Okay. And if it is the thumbs down, if you're not keen on that name for the the club, please do come with some suggestions and
right. That's right.
Yeah, go Mark.
That's what I was going to say. If you could add another section where it says other, yes, no, other, and then somebody could comment, what it'd be interesting to see,
Well, I'm going to do a yes or no poll, and it's going to be in the AMA live chat, and anybody can type in whatever they want. But Simon, we do have some questions in the AMA live chat. While I'm typing up this poll, if you would like to look at those.
Okay, 2 secs. Right. I'm just trying to find out where we start. So. Right. Will we, as the community, be able to buy the new tokens before they go live to the rest of the world? Probably not. I don't know the exact answer to it. Maybe, but there won't be a pre-sale, and we won't be discounting them, because obviously, if we discount them, those that held at the moment, you need to hold. You'll get what you held. Right, and you'll get them airdropped to you, so you can partake in, in the sale as it goes on. I can't give a whole bunch of tokens or an opportunity for people to buy more before the launch, because if that happens, a lot of people will just dump. So the answer is probably not. Right, question. Now that you've had some time to digest the snapshots taken when the original contract was closed, do you have any idea of the ratio of old tokens being replaced to new tokens? The answer is yes, and no, I'm not telling you at the moment. So, yes, I do know. Until the new tokenomics are worked out and the exact number of new tokens, I can't tell you. So I would be making it up if I've got I know what the ratio is, but I won't be able to confirm anything. And you guys, as the VIPs, will be first to know. Okay, so I will answer that obviously prior to the new token going live. So Sammy B says, it will be based on a fiat value, not the number of tokens you had. Yeah, well, that is correct. So we had in our original contract 7.35 billion tokens. If, and this isn't the number, right? Before anyone gets excited, this is not the number. But if instead of 7.35 billion, we had 7.35 million, you would be getting 100 times less tokens, if you see what I mean. But the value would be the same, okay? i.e. each token would be worth 10 times more. I guess this is a recurring question. Yeah, I'm sure it'll be a recurring question as we go forward, but we will educate people and we will be making it clear what's happening. Christina says, I'm logged in from Cuba while on vacation. I hope the weather's lovely. I wouldn't miss this for anything. Even the inviting pool is looking at me. Yeah, thanks for that, Christina. It's freezing here in the UK. Brilliant. And hopefully you're not having a Cuba Libre as well and a drink to go with it. But yeah.
Oh.
Joke ain't joke anymore. What does one need to do to get into the VIP thingy? Oh, Walter, yes. I think to get into the VIP thingy, we are going to be adding some more people next week. We will continue to add people and we will be taking anyone out who's not contributing. At the end of the day, if we see you here contributing week in, week out and turning up to AMAs and being an active member of the community, I won't have a problem promoting people like that into VIP. It's not a fixed number of posts. It's not a competition. It's about being a member of the community. So look, I would be very surprised if all the people that I'm looking at now don't manage to get into VIP unless you disappear off the face of the earth. Matt, aka Crypto OPA, says massive news. It is massive news with Polygon. If Polygon, right? What crypto would back joke? Yes, well, it is. Polygon is on ETH and their native token is Matic. So, but we would, on the exchange, we would be paired with USDT as our natural pair. So we'd have a stable coin as our pair for people to trade against, which is one of the issues we've had with BNB. When we were on BSC and we're paired with BNB, the long-term value of BNB on all of the predictions that I've seen is very, very low, right? And we couldn't afford equally to be paired with a token that could end up going the other way. So all of the really big projects that are out there have a stable coin as a pair that they can trade against. And then obviously if you're on a centralized exchange, you can exchange for other tokens, i.e. Bitcoin, ETH, anything. So you then open up the opportunity to trade more easily with a lot of other people, which has been one of the problems the project has had, because a lot of people that wanted to get into the Joke project just didn't know how to get BNB, didn't know how to use NightSwap. Nothing against NightSwap, and I'll stop talking about it at that point because I mustn't say anymore. Yeah, so yeah, somebody says a stable. Yeah, correct. Polygon's coin is Matic, correct. Wouldn't be ideal. I would pair it with stable. We will be paired with a stable coin like USDT because that is the point of being on a centralized exchange. Do I need to do anything specific, or what are you looking for? Walter, look, carry on doing what you're doing. You're doing great. Just turn up, help people, get involved in a bit of conversation, and I would imagine you'll probably be upgraded to VIP by next week. So do you have...
Hey, Simon, I just wanted to know, there's 36 people in the audience, and we only have 12 people that have responded to the poll in the AMA live chat channel.
All right.
I'm not sure how long you want to keep that poll open, or if I should then put it in a different place, but we don't have a lot of participation.
We'll keep it open till... We'll keep it open probably for 24 hours, and then we'll move it into the general chat if that's all right. So that people have got a chance to vote if they haven't managed to turn up for the AMA.
Well, I wouldn't. If I move it, then these I can manually
just recreate another one in the general chat.
Remove any duplicates. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll count them.
We're only looking for a flavor. What does it
so
say?
So far, it's 17 yes, 4 no's so far.
Right. Okay. Cool. The other thing is, if you are somebody who's contributing on Twitter or are engaging with other social, like let's say that you're engaging with our YouTube channel, you don't have to be continually posting on Discord. You know, if you're somebody who wants to help us out on Twitter and you want to be a VIP, just message me and say, look, I am so and so on Twitter and this is what I'm doing. And there's no I'm not going to write any hard and fast rules, because otherwise somebody's going to miss out by one post, or they're going to be, let's say one of their relatives isn't well, or they're not well themselves, or all these sort of things come into it, and then somebody gets really disappointed and they've made effort, and all we're really looking for is just some effort, because it's your investment and it's our investment, and we're all working together to help everybody. We are the tip of the spear, right? We are the top of the tree. We are going to be the ones that enjoy the majority of this project, and you guys want to come along for the ride and help us do that, and we will reward everybody that does. So, we will make it our personal mission to make sure that those VIPs get tremendous value, right? So, if you don't know what's going into the VIP package, please do have a look on the previous announcements, because it's in there. I still have mine in the farm, been away for a bit. I'm going to watch the AMAs in the next day or so. If you've still got them in the farm, Craig, you need to take a picture, a screenshot of it in the farm, and send me your wallet address. If you're not my friend on Discord, you need to friend me, because you can't DM me without being my friend. So you need to friend request me, then DM me your wallet, then I can take a snapshot of your LP, and then I can work it back to the snapshot date so that you don't lose out. My suggestion would be, so will the community be able to buy the token before outside world? My suggestion would be that JJC holders get a pre-access in a private sale. I can take that on board and we can consider it. I don't know the answer to that yet, but anyway, let me. I'm not going to try and make it up on the spot. Scruff says, I've sent you a private message with a wallet address. Great. I have got a load of private messages that I need to deal with. I got probably 50 last week. I'm still getting more coming in, and I'm dealing with them in batches. So I will get back to people. It's been incredibly busy at the back end. I like Joking Jungle Cat community instead of club. Community is stronger than club. Just a suggestion. Okay. JJCC sounds good to me. Definitely. It has a ring. Sounds cool. The value to me was in volume, i.e. 1 million tokens as opposed to $10 for one. It will not be $10 for one, and there will be a lot of tokens. So, yeah, it's not. Look, I'm not going to end up giving somebody one token for 100 or 200 tokens. Don't worry about that. I'm not going to announce numbers at the moment, right? And just stick around, you'll find out, and you'll be the first to know. What is the name of the partner NFT that we can buy at a discount with the old joke token? It is called Steezy, and it's not launched yet. And we will be posting an announcement from them into our announcement, and then you can go and check them out. I like it that we will be paired with USDT over BNP. So do I, absolutely. Major reason for doing part of this. How will NFT holders be paid? In JGC token or in the platform token Polygon era? Right, so you will be paid in. You're not going to get paid in joke token, because if we paid you in joke token, people would go and sell it. So when an advertiser or a sponsor pays us, they will be asked to pay in Bitcoin, Ethereum, or any other, or in dollars, right? And when we convert that into ETH or Bitcoin or BNB or USDT, undecided yet, but most likely a stable coin, the NFT holders will be paid in whatever that stable coin is. Okay.
Nice.
I can't find the poll, but I do like the name JJCC, says Embers. Yeah. Look up, says Sammy B. I reached out to a friend and sent you all my info, but received no response to your end. I think you just answered that. Yeah, look, I have got a whole bunch of... I've got a big list of direct messages that I've got to deal with, but what I'm doing is sticking them all onto one sheet so that I'm making sure that I'm not... If I haven't... You can tell whether I've read your message. I'm not ignoring people. I'm just doing them in batches, that's all. Okay. I can hear people typing. Any other question? Has anyone got their hand up? Because I can't see the AMA at the moment. Jane? Andy, maybe you can check for
I need
us.
to take a look. I was just trying to write the poll in the other.
Yeah.
I don't see anybody. No.
Okay. There's a few more people typing, so if you want to type in a question, now is the time, and I will get to them while we're live. Embers has found the poll. That's great. Hopefully you voted. Oh, while we're here, we can do a little update on the Infiniverse as well. If people haven't noticed, the Infiniverse, Andy, let me check with you before that. I'm allowed to talk about that, aren't
I? The fact that they're doing the land sale and everything else.
Yeah, that's all public, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, so we've been talking to San at the Infiniverse for a long time about how he's taking the project forwards, and there were conversations around land being sold in the Infiniverse, and there have obviously been conversations around NFTs. The whole community of the Infiniverse, like, were going through, I want to say a lot of them chucked their toys out of the pram, right? And they spat the dummy out, and just, there was a load of very childish antics in there, because there's a lot of people that have put a lot of money into that project, like I have, right? And more so than most. And there's a lot of people that own property there. And there's a lot of people that are frustrated that they can't get real money out of it yet. And the key thing is yet, right? Patience, because you don't think that the people who bought, right? If people bought shares in Apple or Microsoft or any of these big, like Amazon, right? Back in the day, at the very, very start, they're all multi-millionaires, right? But they could have got very little out of it for the first few years. Now, the people who sold up and took their money and ran, that's what's happening. There's people like that in the Infiniverse, right? I am personally sat on a whole bunch of penthouses. I'm going to go and get some land in there. And I believe in the vision that Sam Shepard has, right? If you don't, then people should leave. Good suggestion, Sammy. We should go and try and buy the entirety of Megastar City. I will ask Sam Shepard that very question before I down tools for tonight. The announcement, the poll has now been added to the announcements, so no need to vote again if you've already voted. And Matt says, great choice that the rewards and yields are to be paid out and distributed in stables. Yeah, absolutely, because it doesn't degrade our project, and it means that people, if they wish, can invest more in the project and buy more NFTs and therefore yield more, right? If we pay out in our own token, it just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Ember says, I was wondering that. I have a store there. Yeah, they are. So they are releasing land for sale for development, and it's going to be at a massive discount. And that land is then going to be able to be developed. And as I understand it, you will then be able to bring in NFTs from other projects onto that land. And it's a roadmap for success for that project. You know, I talked to San about the fact that in real life, right, one of my friends, a very good friend and a very rich man, said to me, buy land. He said, if you want to be really, really rich in the future, buy land. And he said, do you know why? And I said, no. He said, because they aren't making any more of it, right? They aren't making any more of it in real life. The issue you've got with land in the metaverse, and this goes for all the metaverse projects, is they are making more of it, right? And it's infinite, and there's no limit to the amount of that land that there can be. So be careful which projects you buy land in, and be careful which projects you invest in. Like, those of you that have invested in Joke, you've got us to this point. You've helped us get to this point, right? We want to take everybody with us to the next level. And when we're talking to people, the person we were talking to at Polygon is the person who's doing the deal with Disney, right? That's a fact. Now, I don't often get to speak to people at that sort of level, but I'm getting used to it now. And yeah, you're right, Tom. Teamwork does make the dream work, and the group of people behind this project, we thank all of you, everyone who turns up week in, week out, everybody who helps us. I will genuinely reward everybody who gets into that VIP club, right? We'll close the doors at some point before that launch, and those people will find out exactly what's happening. Not to say we're not going to help everybody else, but those that make the effort are those that win the biggest. Okay, and it's not. There's a phrase that says, I think it is the harder I work, the luckier I get. And it's true in many respects that if we work hard as a team, and it doesn't have to be a massive amount of effort, right? If we can get people to just yes, and Valdi says, in what form can we collaborate with other communities, right? What is a win-win except members liking ours and our members liking another community? In a Web3 ethos, if we can get to collaborate with these other communities, if you look at the way Web2 panned out, the way the web panned out, you ended up with the winners. The big winners, right? The big websites, the YouTube, the Amazon, the Facebook, there's a list of hundreds of really, really big winners, right? If we collaborate with the right projects, we become one of the winners, right? We want people to like our projects. I genuinely believe that we've got an opportunity to put comedy in front. Who doesn't like comedy? Right? If you find me somebody who doesn't like comedy, fine, we don't want to collaborate with them. Maybe there is a grumpy old twats group out there that they don't get it, right? Them we're not dealing with. But if we can collaborate with any project, and we are about to, if we do a deal with Polygon, we will get introduced to all the really big communities that they've already got. Like, think about the sandbox, right? And what they've got in there, and getting invited into that. You can't buy land there I can't afford to buy land there. So, but when you're going to get given it, it's a whole different ball game, and you get invited in, and you're in the club, and you are able to work with these other projects, and you're taken a lot more seriously, and suddenly there's a critical mass that takes you, well, I don't like the phrase, but to the moon, right? So, yeah, any more questions before we go? Because we've now broken our promise and we're about to go over an hour. Andy, you got
anything? Just checking the commission chat. Kaleem's got a question, and I don't know what the answer is to it because it depends on what's happening.
Okay.
Yeah, we probably do need to wrap up now.
I've just nearly shared the commission chat on the AMA. Right. Am I doing the crypto security AMA at the top of the hour? I have a conflicting meeting, but we'll kick off the audio recording. Will it be recorded on YouTube as well? I had to drop for my other meeting. if there's people who want to do it, but I've now gone into that time scale, do we just want to add it on? Well, yeah, I need to stop this recording and then start it again, don't I?
For those that want to stay on, okay.
Yeah, if I'm going to stop streaming this one now, and then if there's people, do I need to, Colleen, do I need to go onto another link? Oh, she's had to drop off for another meeting. Yeah, I'm presuming I have to close this one. Look, I'm going to stop streaming this one now because we've gone over the top of the hour, and I think we've updated everybody. So let me just stop the stream. So thanks for coming, everybody. I really do appreciate it. As always, if you've got questions, raise them in the chat, right? If you need anything answering, ask me. If you need me, DM me, okay? It's not an invite to just DM me for anything, but if you've got a question, please do ask, or ask a member of the team. So thanks for coming, everybody. I'm going to stop the stream now, and then we're at an hour. And then if anybody wants to join me for a chat around security and wallets, Trezor, etc., I will restart. So there's another event that is scheduled to start, and that will start